And with that, we're at it again. Welcome back to Ted Greene's Chord Chemistry Part 8. This is going to be one of a few sections of Part 8. We are talking about Section 7 in the book, which is right here if you want it, if you need it. If you can go ahead and order it here or in your neighborhood bookstore or bookseller or whatever. But if you get the new improved version or the new Alfred's version with the orange and blue cover, it's exactly the same book that we have here. And we're starting with Section 7 today again, just a reminder, essential chords and synonyms, and we are going through this book literally word for word so that we don't miss anything and in our approach. And I've already noticed benefits in my own playing, and I hope you have too. Let's start with essential chords. One of the most serious questions in dealing with chords is that of which chords we come to learn first. Take a moment and first browse through the entire Section 8. As you can see, I'm going to look at Section 8. Section 8, let's take a look. Oh yeah, I'm looking at the chord reference charts and it's a bear. But we're going to have a ton of fun with that. Section 8, as you can see, the number of chords on the guitar is pretty ridiculous. And there are even more chords than are listed here in this book. So where does one start? You will notice the first grouping of chords is labeled essential chords. These have been found to be more than enough chords to meet the needs of just about any musical situation. That's good to know. So these chords should be studied first and memorized gradually in terms of complexity. That is, learn the chords whose construction is simple first and gradually add on the more complex chords. Example, learn the major and minor chords first, and then the major sixth, minor sixth, then the major seventh, minor seventh, dominant seventh, etc., all the way up to 13, augmented 11th, or raised 11th, sharp 11, or 6/9, sharp 11, and such. After you learn these essential chords, it should take months at least. If you are still hungry for more chords, you could tackle the chord reference charts. Many of the chords listed here are chords with extremely limited application, but the reason for their existence will be explained in Section 13. Anyway, even if you don't get the chord reference charts for a few years, you will be in good shape if you have learned these essential chords and know how to use them. So learn the essential chords and know how to use them. That's important. Which brings up the next point. As mentioned in the introduction, it would be senseless to know many chords and not know where to use them. The necessary information on how and where to use them is contained in later sections of the book, starting with Section 11. Don't skip Sections 9 and 10 though, and we won't. We'll definitely go through all of that stuff together. A thorough study of at least Sections 11 and 13 will give you a good deal of material to play with. However, you still need vehicles, that is, places where you can apply the information. That is where learning many different chord progressions comes in. So, the chord progressions become our vehicles. These are most easily obtained by learning the basic progressions of different songs. Every song will have a chord progression stamped on the sheet music, even if you don't read music. You can read the names of the chords that are listed over the music. So, for example, C major 7, or a C with the 7 and a line through it. In this case, in this book, we have a C with a 7 with a line through it indicative of C major 7. So even if you don't read music, you can read the names of the chords that are listed over the music. And you can use this as your basic framework to which you can apply different ideas. The blues progressions in Section 18 are also good vehicles to which you can apply ideas. Sections 12, 16, and 17 are given to help us understand a little bit about how common chord progressions that we will be seeing are quite often actually are arrived at. In Section 10, you will encounter ideas which will enable you to move chords from one set of strings to another. You should try this wherever possible on any of the essential chords. Also, be absolutely sure you try all the possibilities before adding the different optional notes to the chords wherever they are indicated. One more thing, try to look for chords that are closely related physically. For example, we're going to walk through these chords that are closely related just now, okay? So we're starting with the A7, which is a dominant chord with a 6 added. So we have the root flatted 7 and the 3, and then the 6 on top. Then we have the A13, which is the 7, root 7, 3, 6, or 13, and 9, right? We have an A13 with a flatted 9. We can finger this a few different ways too. We use the first finger, the 1, flat 7, 3, 6, and then, or 13 and flatted 9. We could also use, you know, the thumb to kind of do this. So that's up to you, you know. Then we have A7, which is still, they're all dominant. These are all dominant chords here for this illustration. A7, flat 9, augmented. So the sharp there indicates sharp 5 or a raised 5th. Whenever we see the sharp or plus there on its own, it's indicative of a raised 5th or augmented chord, part of the augmented triad. 1, flat 7, 3, sharp 5, or augmented 5th, and then the flat 9. Then we have the A7 flatted 9. That's, you know, got a regular 5 in it, so we kind of we start seeing some diminished sequencing with this particular chord shape. 1, flat 7, 3, 5, and flatted 9. Then we have the A7 flat 9, flat 5. So we have, you know, pretty much an E flat dominant 7 chord, you know, the old Mustang Sally chord, but without the root note in it. And then we use that A note in the bass with the thumb. If you like, you can grab it with the thumb. Root, flat 7, 3, flat 5, flat 9. Then we have the A7, or this is still a dominant chord, but it's the A13 sus. We have the root, flat 7, 4, 16, or 16. We have the root, flat 7, 4, or 11, right? In this case, sus 4, and then 13, and then 9 on the top. Really cool chord sound. Then we have the A7 sharp 9 with the augmented 5th, which is the root, flat 7, 3, sharp 5, and then the sharp 9. Sharp 9, sharp 5. A7 sharp 9 augmented. Then the A9 is just more pretty standard. So the root, flat 7, 3, 5, and then 9. And then we could add, you know, the flatted 7th there with that empty circle. 1, flat 7, 3, flat 7 is doubled, and then the 9 on top. Then we have the 9 with the augmented 5th, root, flat 7, 3, augmented, and the 9th on top of it. That's all pretty cool stuff. Then we have the A minor 9, which is 1, flat 7, flat 3, 5, and then 9. You could play that a few different ways. If you can relate to chords in this manner, it will speed up the process of memorizing them. So I'm turning the page. I'm on page 14, and I'm actually just going to run through some of these chords on the top few rows until I feel like it's just time to break for the next session, okay? We're going to run through all of these starting with A, and we'll get through all of the A chords, okay? And I think we'll start next session with the A minor. So if you wanted to look ahead, you can go ahead and do that, and it's not going to hurt you one single bit. It might actually be enjoyable to do a little reconnaissance for the rest of us. So we have this second position. So we have the root 3, 5. And then we have also the root 3, 5 up here, right? So we could use, we have the variations of that A chord where we're just playing like the 2, 2, and then the 3 on the top. And not the 2, 2, but we're on 2nd fret with those those circles are really those are places that we really want to pay attention to, because this is giving us all of the root 3 5 root 3 5 root, all of the notes in that position for that particular A major shape. The cool thing about this A major shape, it can become a B major shape just simply by moving those, parallel planing those across the neck, which is something really powerful stuff to parallel plane, very powerful stuff. The next voicing is A without the root note. So what we're doing is we're basically taking the root 3 and 5 and turning it into the 3, 5, and then the root. Then we're using the next shape, which is 5, 1, 3. And then we're moving that up 1 octave to fret 14. We have the 12, 12. We have that, 12, 12, 14, 14, 14, 12, and then 12 up on the top here. Then we're moving, let me keep organized where we are. We're working through back to position number 2. So we're starting to string skip now. We're starting to use the same notes that were in the A major triad, which is root 3, 5, or A, C sharp, and E, or E, A, C sharp, or any kind of variation thereof. But now, instead of using the closed voicings, we're going to start opening these suckers up. We're going to move from C in the bass, or in the root, the bass. It's not a root note, right? So we have the C, skipping over that D string and using the fret 2 on the G string, and then the fret 5 on the B string. So we have a 3, 1, 5, or C sharp, A, and E. The next voicing, we're on position number 2 still. We have A note, then we're stretching back for fret 2 on the D string, which is an E. Then we're jumping up with the 4th finger, reaching, not jumping, but reaching to fret number 6 on the G string for that C sharp. Then we have another A variation on fret number 5, position number 5. We have a root 5 and then 3, which is the same thing he did back, he had us doing just in the previous display. So we have that root 5, 3, or we have the root 5, 3. You can reconfigure where you want the string skip. Good stuff to know. The next voicing has us going up to position 12, which we're using root 5 and 3, which we just did here. And here, right? And then we're using position 7. Position 7 is going to be root 5, 3 again. So we're finding those root 5, 3 voicings all over the guitar, or, the guitar. So we've got that root 5, 3. Again, we're going to use fret 12 with 2 or 1, 3, 5. Then we're going to descend that. Then we're going to descend that inversion pattern down to position 5, which is the 3rd, the 5th, and the 1, or the C sharp, E, and A. Then we can go up to down to position 5, where we have this E, C sharp, and A. We also have position number 5. We have a 5, a 3, and a 1 that we can use. So there are reasons that we're studying these voicings, and they really offer us some really great opportunities on the guitar for clarity, for color, for experience, and we can use these to our benefit for soloing and so many other reasons. So we're going to be in, I guess, position 10. So we're using 5, 3, 1, which is the same thing we did here, 5, 3, and 1. But you can hear now what he's trying to do is explain to us that we can play the same chord in 2 different shapes on the guitar, but 1 is on darker strings or thicker strings, so we get a little bit darker timbre here. Then we're on position 9. We have the 5, the root, and then the 3. We have the other notes here, the 1 or the 5, and then the 1, and then the 5. If we're on position 5, we're going to use the 5, the 1, and then the 3. Position 9, we're going to use the 5, the 1, and 3. So we're really figuring out how to get across the guitar neck here, like lickety-split. Position number 9 is going to be the 3, the 1, and the 3, the 5, and the 1. Position 9, we still have another option of using the 3, the 5, and the 1, right? So we have just octave. Here's a really cool idea. We take that 3 from the A chord, 3, 5, 1, and then we octave reduce because we can reach it, right? I know that C sharp works here, but it also works great here, and it's easy to reach for that particular reason, as we can expand the 9th position to include lower resonances. We're on 4th position with the 4, what is that? C sharp, so that's the 3, the 5, and the 1. On 7th position, we have same string group, not same string group, but it's 3, 5, 1. Fret 7, position 7, we have the 3, 5, 1 again. We have the 3, 1, 5. And then we have on still position 7, we have the 3, 5, 1. On position number 9, we have the 1, 3, 5. And then on position 9 again, we have the 1, 5, 3. On position 11, we have the 5, 1, and 3. Position number 9, we have the A again, which is 3, 1, and 5 on the top. And you can decide which fingers you want to use for this. Okay, then we have the position 2 with root, 3, those are minors. So I'll tell you what, we're going to jump right there. I hope you had a great time. I want you to go back through those chords, and I'll probably just walk through those again really quickly, just on my own, just so I can run through them. If you wanted to check these out again with me, hang right out. But part B is coming up very, very quickly. So walk through these chords and try to absorb these and just get them under the fingertips, and we're going to continue right along. So don't hesitate, and what I want you to do is I want you to have some fun, I want you to explore, and I want you to just keep me informed of any questions. You know, just keep the questions coming. I really have been enjoying it, and your insights are valuable to all of us, so don't hesitate to share those, and I'll see you next time, and until that time, happy picking.